Hello everyone, welcome to the Sweet Source Canada YouTube channel. My name is Tristan and today we got a check engine light on our 1999 Volvo S70. So we're going to take care of that and let's dive right into it. Alright, so I got my handy dandy Bluetooth OBD reader and we're going to go ahead and scan this car and ensure we're getting the right trouble code and doing the right thing to replace it. So I've already scanned this car, but I'm going to do it here on camera for you guys. So the first thing you got to do on these cars, there's no scanner underneath. On P80 cars, it's located in the armrest, and then you'll see a cover right where your trim comes in over here. You'll see a little cover, and you just got to pop this out by pressing like this on the side. The cover is going to be like this in the car. Just press here, there's some little finger grips. Press it like this and it depresses the clip and you can pop it outwards. And just be careful for these whips. Be careful for these two clips here that kind of got it into the spot. So put that to the side. The car will already be connected because I typed the VIN manually. But on older cars you might need to type the VIN manually. But the VIN on newer cars, it will automatically do it. So C99 S70, keep this vehicle. Read codes. I don't know if you can see the check engine light on camera, but it's right there glowing. That came on a road trip on the way back. So we've got EVAP system leak detected, large leak. We have already taken care of replacing the fuel tank cap a while ago, but it's also telling us to replace the purge valve assembly. So that's what we're gonna go for. Doing a lot of research online, P0455 generally is a purge valve assembly, so we're going to take care of that today. It's an easy part to access, pretty inexpensive part. We're also going to change a few hoses while we're under there to make sure everything is going to be nipped and tucked, and see if the light comes back on. If the light comes back on, we might need to do another video tackling the lines near the fuel tank underneath, and hopefully none of the lines on top of the tank. That will have to be a dropping tank scenario where we change those lines on top of the tank. But for now we've got this, so let's start with this and see if that helps. It's also a 25-year-old car. Hoses get old, they degrade, so let's start with that first. So I'm going to leave the scanner in here. We're going to go ahead and put the battery on charge, and we're going to go ahead and start the work on this car. We're leaving the scanner in here because afterwards we'll go for a test drive, take the light off the car, clear the codes, and see if it comes back. If it comes back, we might need to tackle another EVAP leak, maybe a line underneath the car near the fuel tank, so that's going to be something else for another day. But we're just going to do the EVAP Purge Solenoid for now. Alright, so the EVAP Purge Solenoid is located under this fresh air hose. This is a non-turbo model. It's similar for the other models too, just maybe some different components to remove. But on this NA, this 99 NA, it's located right underneath this fresh air intake tube. We're also going to be changing these little vacuum lines here, these little lines here as well, and one down here as well. And then that's our valve right there. So let's go ahead and begin this. So it's right on the driver's side of the vehicle. When you're facing the car, it's on the driver's side, so the right side, and the driver's side when you're looking through the back of the car. So we're going to go ahead and pop this air tube out, which is very simple. So this simply just comes out like this. You don't have to take the whole thing out, but you can if you want to. There's the adapter here that can come out as well. There we go, that connects to the airbox. That tube comes out very easily. Let's put it to the side. And this can come out as well and give us a bit more room to access this. So this one slides on these two rubber mounts. Alright, so now I've got to remove this valve here. So this is our problem part we're going to change. It's original to the car as well. So this is going to be, 300,000 kilometers, 25-year-old car. It's time to change this out. So let's go ahead and do that. So to take this out, it's really rather simple. I'm going to move these wires out of the way. We just got to see this clip here. You just pinch it and slide it out. There's no fasteners holding it in, so no tools required. Just go ahead and grab it. The two pinchers here. Let's grab that clip. Press it as hard as you can. And just be careful when you do it. You don't want to break the clip. There we go. And as you can see now, it slides out. And that's that. So once you have this done, the first thing you want to do is unplug this. So simple enough. Press this connector in. Pull out the connector. I love this style of connector because this metal tab just makes it so easy to remove. And put that to the side. Once that's out, we're going to go ahead and remove the valve from the vehicle. So start by removing this hose like that, and then remove the second hose on the bottom. and you can see now this hose is completely deteriorated. And you might say, hey, there's no holes in there, but all those micro cracks are allowing vacuum to escape, so that's the problem. And just like that, this is out. Now there are multiple different part numbers for these, but just go ahead and look on your valve. There should be a Volvo part number or a Purge number or something. Mine here is on the valve somewhere here. 9125-243 is the valve on this car. So a lot of sites will just tell you to order whatever is on the car. There's a lot of different shut-off valves. Volvo messed around with the emissions quite a bit on these cars over the years, and even over the same model year, they mess around with a lot of things on these. So they change a lot of things. There's like a few different part numbers for these, so make sure you're getting the right one. So next up, we're gonna pull out these hoses. Let's go ahead and start with this one. Now, I don't wanna damage anything, so I'm gonna go ahead and be really careful when I take this out. I'm gonna go ahead and just carefully try to twist it. This vacuum tube here, just like that, to give us a bit more room. Do not wanna damage anything. Then we're gonna start cutting this off and removing the clamp here as well. Put your clamps on there to loosen this off. And this is a metal nipple on there, so don't be worried about snapping it. It's gonna be fine. And that has no clogs in it either. Always check that. And that's one of our hoses out that we're gonna be replacing. And we got this one here I want to do as well while we're here. I'm gonna go with my X-Acto blade. I'm gonna try to cut a slit into here. Carefully. Don't want to cut myself. There we go. And that's another one out. So these two dried, rotted hoses are gonna be replaced. That clamp's not gonna be reused anyways. And look at this all here, these old pieces that completely deteriorated. Now we're just gonna make sure none of these lines are plugged, and I don't see any plugs, so that's good. These are good as well. We're gonna pop this out over here. Let's go ahead and do that. It just slides right out of its bracket, like so. Unclip it. Then we can go ahead and pop this off. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and start with this valve here. So I'm gonna use a little bit of silicone spray, just in the hose. A little touch is all you need, just to make sure it slides on very nicely. I've got clamps on this as well, ready to go. Let's start by putting it in here. And you want to make sure you route it in a way that it won't cause it to kink or anything. So put that on. Try to position the clamps where you could fit your tool, and also go in with a screwdriver if ever you have to remove this in the future. So try to do that as well as possible. Always think about the next person who's going to work on the car ultimately, is what I'm trying to say. There we go, and that's in really well. So let's get this in here, test fit it. And that looks really right to me. Good tension, and it's not too tight, so that's going to be good. So let's go ahead and squeeze this clamp on, and then squeeze that one. Grab our tool and squeeze just until you see it crimps it. So in this case, that's all we need, not much. Let's go ahead and do this one too. Before I do that one, actually, I am gonna do this one first. So let me go ahead and put a little bit of silicone in there. Put a new clamp on there. That looks proper. That clamp into position, and these here you can go in with a screwdriver and pry them out, so it's not a big deal, or you can cut them with a Dremel. There you go. That's on there enough for my satisfaction. Doesn't need to be super tight. Even if they still move a little bit, that's okay. It's just to prevent it from coming off the nipple. So that's why you don't need to put those super tight. This is already in its spot, so that's fine. Just like that. And now let's get in the last hoses over here. Okay, so we've got our original one here. We've got our new one here, Purge. So let's go ahead and put that to the side. And we got our two hoses already cut. Now I'm using NBR rubber hoses, which are good for fuel, fumes, whatever. And I've got 4 squeeze clamps like this, right here and right here, that are gonna go hold those hoses as well. So let's start by doing this, putting this back where it belongs. All those clamps are put into their spot. Slide that in its bracket, then put the hose into this bracket over here that holds it in. Looking very pretty already. That's all done. We've already got silicone grease on this, the clamps are ready. Let's go ahead and install the valve. If you get a Pureberg one, the P's gonna be upside down like this. That's the correct positioning of the valve. Let's go ahead and install that. Clips right into place. We could put the connector in, which I should have done first, but it's okay. Connector goes in. Now I always cut my hoses a little bit longer, just so if I have to make adjustments, it's easier that way. Now you want to ensure this clamp is on there. Pretty nice. This I'm quite happy with. You want it to create a good seal. I'm going to tighten it a bit more. This is a plastic line, so just be aware of that. Just a bit more. I think like that is going to be sufficient. That line's not going anywhere, and it creates a good seal. Alright, so let's go ahead and put in on the valve. So we already got silicone spray on that. Let's grab a clamp. And that's on there very well. So that's all you need for those. And now that's gonna have no leaks. By the way, the lines here, I'm gonna just say, this one here is a 4mm inner diameter. This one's about the same, I think 3 or 4, but you get the special elbows for it. And the ones I'm using here and the one that's gonna go up to here are 8mm from memory. All right, now for this one here, it's gonna be rather simple. Let's see how we can route it. Maybe like this would work best. That's on there. Like I said, not too tight. If this wiggles a little bit, no worries. What's important is the seal is good. Like it clamps enough where it makes an airtight seal, and that's not going to go anywhere. And that should be all we need for these. So everything here is nice and sealed up. Everything is on there very well. We replaced this line right here, clamped it onto its valve, its solenoid. We clamped this on as well because they get kind of loose sometimes. So we did that as well. This here is clamped as well. Another EVAP line in here as well changed. So that's good to know. That's going to be something that's going to last a bit longer with some fresh hosing. We're going to go ahead. I think I'm going to wrap a zip tie right around here, just make sure everything holds in nice. And then we're going to go ahead and put everything back together. All right, here's the aforementioned zip tie. Let's go ahead and tie all these together just to keep them in a bundle. Don't need to zip tie to anything in particular. I just want them to stay together. That is complete. Grab our fresh air tubes. You can see here there's 2 grooves. I'm not sure if you catch it on camera. There's 2 grooves where these slide into. It's not really necessary, but it doesn't hurt to put some lubrication on there. Then go ahead and put this in its proper home. And then get your grooves in as well. 1 and 2. Once those are in, slide the rest in like this. Keep this hood latch cable there. That's in its home. Doesn't really clip in very positively, so you just got to kind of slide it where it goes. Then this over here slides right onto the air box. There's a valve, not a valve, but a tube there where it goes. Like that. Make sure that seats all the way in. Then go ahead and close it up here. That will clip in positively. And then get this tube all the way in as well. So that's complete. So you go from an old valve that doesn't really do its job anymore to some old hoses that just not holding air well anymore and are hard and crumbling in your fingers and leaving all kinds of rubber on you, to these fresh lines all clamped in properly, no leaks whatsoever, and this nice new valve down here, OE Pureberg. And this now is all cleaned up. This is one thing we can knock off the list. Something I probably should have done about 1.5 years ago when this light first came on. We changed a gas cap on it, put an original Volvo gas cap. Seemed to solve the issue for a while, but then the problem reared its ugly head again. So we're doing this as a next step. And I would like to change as a preventative maintenance all those hoses near the fuel tank. This is a car, like I said, we're going to keep for a long time. I want to make sure the fuel economy is really good on this car. So it's already good, but it could be better. Probably something I forgot to mention in the introduction video, but this is all done and looking stellar. So I'm really happy to see this. It's a clean install. Everything looks nice in factory and nice. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove the light, and then we'll have to take it for a test drive. All right, so I've got the car running now. We're just gonna go ahead and clear these codes that we got for the Purge Solenoid. And this code might take a good 10-15 kilometers of driving to come back, if it does come back. If not, we should be golden if it doesn't come back after about 15 to 20 kilometers of driving. And that's gonna clear our check engine light for now. So let's see as we drive it around if this is gonna be fixed up. So I'm gonna report back. I'm gonna go for a little drive. I'm gonna report back and tell you guys what happens. If the light comes back on, we might need to tackle those lines near the fuel tank as well as the shutoff valve there, maybe even the rollover valve if we have to. But I'm thinking usually it's a shutoff valve, so we'll see when we get there, and those rubber lines, of course. All right, everyone, so I just did a little bit of driving, put about 5-6 kilometers on the car. So far, the light has not returned. I think it's over here, actually. It's not returned. So everything seems to be all right. I put a bit of gas as well, just for now. But everything seems to be a-okay. So I'll report back if there's anything extra. I still might go ahead and do all those fuel line, not fuel line, but the vapor lines near the fuel tank, and change the shutoff valve as well, since I have the components already. So that will still be a video for another day to refresh that system. But anyways, guys, if you guys enjoyed the video and liked everything, I would appreciate a subscribe. And if you guys would like to leave a comment, any questions or any remarks, go ahead, feel free. I'm glad to hear all feedback from you guys, the viewers. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope it was helpful. Have a great day. Goodbye.